All right, y'all. Welcome back to episode 10 with the Rabbit Hole Show. I'm here with KC and our first guest, Griffin. So, what up, Griffin?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. I'm glad we're all doing well. It's a Monday. We got through it. So I met Griffin when he was 8, 9, or 10 sometime at the Harris Y. He was a camper and I was a counselor, and he was a wild one, but he stuck out, and reconnected with him
Last summer.
last summer. Yeah, last summer. He had recently graduated, or you were about to graduate.
Something like that.
And I was over in East Charlotte living the dream, and yeah, we reconnected, and here we are now.
Basically got put into a crazy part of your life that I had no idea, just blindsided.
Yeah.
But we made it out. We made it out alive, and now we're here to talk about it.
We did. Yeah, God's good. I mean, yeah. It was a wild time you came into my life.
Good.
It was, do you remember exactly what month it was?
Can't tell you.
It was summertime though, wasn't it? Kind of.
We were going to the pool a lot.
Yeah, we were going to the pool a lot. And like Griffin always kept it like clean, like never got rowdy as I did, but he definitely, if you ask him, he probably could tell you some stories of those days. And also, we'll talk about this later, but I've mentioned and talked about 2 of my tattoos. Another tattoo that I'll release, but is not complete yet. Griffin was there that day. I was getting that tattoo.
Wild day.
I put him in this, and it goes to show that when I was at my lowest and in an unhealthy place, like I was only thinking about myself without even knowing I was doing that. Because I knew the areas where we were and Griffin went. And I was comfortable over there, but your average person might get a little worried. And, I put him in a situation that was rough and, not something I should have done. So yeah, that was a wild day. Yeah. And he saved me from, getting arrested again that day. I apologize and have talked to the tattoo owner. He does great work, great guy. And yeah, I apologize to him, apologize to Griffin. I mean, it was a wild day and something that all could have been avoided if I had just been in tune with myself and been in a healthy place. Instead, I was coping with things that I didn't need to and just living the dream. And the dream was the dream was slowly fading, kind of just as my life was with how I was living. So enough about me. Griffin, tell us a little bit about yourself and, everyone who listens to the Rabbit Hole Show, kind of who you are.
Yeah, so
and then we can dive in more later.
Definitely. A little background about me. I met Charles, as he said, back in summer camp in 1966.
Good old Harris Y.
Back in 2010, real long time ago.
I had 2010, yeah, so I just finished freshman year of college.
Yeah.
You were what, elementary school?
Yeah, so I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about life at that.
But I saw something in you I remember you out of all the little kids.
You saw that I would swoop in 10 years later and save your life, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It works funny. Funny things work like that.
Yeah, everything comes back. Like, everything happens for a reason, I believe.
But then after summer camp...
yeah, so tell us, in between summer camp and...
Charlotte native.
Yeah.
Went to East Mecklenburg High School and went to UNC Charlotte for 4 years. Somehow became a photographer, and that's what we're doing, living the dream. Just taking pictures.
So what are you taking pictures of? Is it like birds and, cute things?
Yeah,
or,
so besides birds and cute cats and dogs, I spend my days taking pictures of professional athletes and just players in the NFL, NBA, whatever team you like, probably shoot for them.
So, I mean, yeah.
I've not shot NHL or any? No hockey.
No hockey?
I did tell my people that I want to shoot hockey. I have not. I've done golf. Yeah,
golf?
I've done golf. Yes.
So NHL. What else have you not that you want to do?
NHL might be the only one that I haven't done that I definitely want to dive into.
All right. So NHL.
I haven't done MMA or like boxing or anything.
That'd be cool. Who's fighting next? Jake Paul, or is it try and get him to shoot for him? Dana White or who?
Yeah, I'll call up Dana right after this interview and we'll see what he has.
People who listen might know people in NHL.
If you're listening to this in a week or two, if you know Dana White, feel free to DM me at GRIFFINZ_23 on Instagram. Just DM me, say I know Dana. Here's his contact information, and
we'll get you shooting there.
I'll bring you with me. Thank you.
And anyone in the NHL.
Yeah, anyone in the NHL, that'd be great too.
I don't know anyone in the NHL, but I'm sure we can make it happen for you. Dreams come true. So, what was your dream at 10 years old? Like right now, if you had to.
Well, crazy enough, my dream at 10 years old was probably to either be like a baseball player or a football player for like the Panthers or something. And so it didn't sort of work out like that, but now working with those guys that I admired to be when I was older is definitely a cool thing.
So did you get into photography in high school, or was that in college?
I didn't pick up a camera until sophomore year of college.
Sophomore year of college.
Yep.
I
was still pursuing baseball at the time at
Didn't
UNC
you play
Charlotte.
UNC Charlotte for a little bit?
Yeah, I played at UNC
for a year
Charlotte.
or two?
Yep. And basically, I just fell out of love with the game. And I remember one day sitting at home thinking, what am I about to do with my life? And I knew I liked taking pictures. It was nothing serious. I went to Best Buy that afternoon and bought a cheap camera, nothing serious. And I think that I've taken pictures every single day since that day.
I mean, every time I've seen you, like if we went and looked in his car right now, he'll have at least 2 cameras in his car.
Indeed, I have a camera in my car right now.
Sometimes, like when he would come over to my apartment in East Charlotte, he'd bring the cameras inside because...
Well, that was because I didn't want them to get stolen out of the car.
That's what I'm saying, because they're expensive. And like, I mean, I say they're expensive, and that has now become your business, what you do. Like, and we can talk about that in a bit, but I want to get back to UNC Charlotte. So you started... falling out of love with baseball and went to Best Buy.
And yeah, I fell out of love with baseball. I fell out of love with the fact that I wasn't really enjoying school that much. I love every other aspect of college besides the actual business program. But we finished the business program.
Yeah, I graduated.
Got a good old piece of paper out of it. Didn't end up having a graduation because of COVID, but got a little emoji walking across the stage.
That's another thing that's different. Like I walked across stage, you didn't. Like that plays a factor.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, I mean, for me, walking across stage, I was proud, but like some people, because of COVID, didn't.
Yeah, my college experience with the ending was I turned in my last assignment and
off the
anticlimactic. That was it. And I just hoped that I passed, and that was it. I got a piece of paper in the mail, said that I got my business admin degree, and then I just kept on doing photography and haven't looked back. So I haven't really I've never applied for a job.
No, you've been working for you and living, making sure your dream,
took a leap of faith and
yeah, I mean,
grinded it out one step at a time, and now we're here.
Because it doesn't happen overnight. Like that was
definitely does not happen overnight.
That was something that I struggled with. I was like,
a lot of people see instant make their money success over Instagram and social media, and they think it's highly achievable, which for the less than 1% it is in this day and age. But yeah, for everyone else, you have to work for
grind.
It. Yep.
You got to go work. Like you can't be worried and upset and stuck on yesterday or the past, because that's done happen. Like you can only learn from it.
Just head forward, just keep going.
Learn from it. Tomorrow is not promised. So don't worry about that. All you can do is control right now, and how are you going to, move your life in a positive direction.
Exactly.
Like you can't be stuck in the past or on the future. And that was something I always was, because my past, I was like, how am I going to like get a job with what I've done? Like, and then I was worried about the future. I'm not going to be successful because I'm not, all this. And so I couldn't enjoy the present, and I was never present.
Yeah.
And that's
I can
something
see
I
how
talked
that
about
could be
in episode 9.
A factor in most people's lives in this day and age, especially coming out of college, thinking you have to be something great. You have to make a certain salary for the rest of your life. You have to start this family. You have to be in this marginalized set of expectations that you might not be able to reach. Yep. And basically what's happening with mental health is if you don't meet those standards, you're a failure.
And I believe that. And I talked negative to myself for 10 plus years. And when you do that daily and you hear people say it, you're like, well, damn, it's true. So why do you see something in me? Like that would kind of annoy me, because I was like, there's nothing good in me. Like, and it took me to last year to wake up, and that was when you entered my life.
Yeah, and you're saying that's your lowest point, when some people have to deal with that every single day. And even the people that are successful and the people that have what they want to do in their life. So, speaking of myself.
Yeah.
Like, there's still times where you think that what if this ends, like, and nothing's guaranteed. This could end tomorrow. Some people could stop hitting me up. The Panthers could not give me a job. Hornets players could stop hitting me up. Like, anything can happen where life as it is right now isn't guaranteed tomorrow.
But you have to, that doesn't say don't plan for the future now. Like having a 6 month, 7 month, safety net if something like that were to happen so you could stay afloat. Like, planning ahead is fine to prepare if something were like that to happen. But yeah, like you're saying.
But meaning I'm not prepared, not at all. I'm kind of just, I'm still in that leap of faith where if something happens, then I'm just going to have to take another step forward because I have no backup plan. And that's the case for a lot of people, I'd say, in the world today. They're just, especially the ones that work for themselves, they get out of that.
Especially with COVID right
done.
Now and people like, money shortage or like, I don't know, just.
And just someone like me who I could never step foot in an office and have a day job, especially coming from where I'm at right now. I feel like I don't want to say I'm peaking. I want to say that the peak is nowhere in sight.
Correct. I mean,
but a lot of people would say I'm peaking right now. And if this is the peak, then a day job would send me in a mental health spiral.
And that's something it did for me. But I think I was also dealing with negative things that were happening outside of work in my life negatively. And then when I found the job that I did like, I poured my life into it to where I was never sleeping, working 100 hours. And
I think if anyone's listening, I think that you need to find a healthy balance. I'd say that's more important than a backup plan.
Correct.
For some things that you can't control. I'd say you can control a healthy balance, whether it's your relationship, it's your job, it's your faith, it's finances, anything. If you can find a healthy balance, then
do it.
Yeah, because you're not going to
find your healthy balance because mine looks different than Griffin. Griffin's looks different
everyone's
than mine and KC.
Like
everyone's is different. You got to find yours.
Yeah, when you said you poured everything into it, sometimes that's not necessarily what you need to be doing.
And that took me to, I would say that was the lowest, like one of the lowest days of my life. And it was in January of 2019, left work. And like I had not been sleeping like for months. Like it would be like 2-3 days and then I'd sleep 4 or 5 hours. And I was on uppers so I could stay awake. I was just energy drinks, Slim Jims, Chex Mix, and just working just so I would not have to deal with shit. Like, and I thought, I don't know what I thought, but like that was my escape.
Your idea of a healthy balance at the time was just dealing with it with medications.
Yeah. And then eventually I went into psychosis, where I was like seeing and hearing things, and like that was going on for
stuff out of movies that the normal person doesn't experience.
But like the stuff I saw, the stuff I saw though didn't scare me. Like it was like just deer and like animal, like shadows, like people walking, but like the noises are what tripped me out. Like, and like at work, I would hear conversations that weren't even happening and they were always negative about my performance. And so like,
so it was like an outside force talking to you.
100%. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it other than that, but like over time, instead of the voice in the back of your head, it turned into a real person. Like, it was people inside the office and they would go into a conference room and I was like, oh, that meeting's about me. Like, what, like, and it took me to one day, like I left, walked out of the office, like sat in my car.
It sounds like your ego was shot.
Sobbed my eyes out, like, what the hell am I doing with my life?
That's another thing with the healthy balance. You gotta, even with your environment and people around you, you gotta just take everything with a grain of salt, keep moving forward. And
but
stuff
I wasn't
like that.
sleeping. I was on uppers. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't doing anything. So like I didn't have a clear mind, and left that day. I'd never cried so much in my life. And like, I'm not an emotional, like I am emotional, but I don't cry much. And this day I like sobbed and I was driving to my house to go shoot myself, no cap. And, got to the house and it was my good buddy who I was living with, and his mom was there with the appraiser because he owned the house. So I was like, damn, that's God telling me not today. Like, and I reached out to my uncle and like was like, I'm about, to do something, like, and he talked me down, and it was just like,
Yeah, but for some people, they don't have someone like your uncle to talk them down. They have nobody. So,
but yeah, like I took it as a sign when his mom was there with the appraiser, like because my gun was in there and stuff. Like,
well, I think your sign to begin with should have been like you had someone like an uncle to talk you down. Some people
I didn't talk to him until after I pulled up to the house. And
well, then what does that tell you? You should reach out to someone before you think twice about anything.
No, yeah, because I had a sign from God. Like to me, it was him telling me it's not your time, and then I reached out to my uncle and was like, hey, and that's kind of when, because later that night is when I ended up in the hospital in Pineville Matthews in like the psych ward. And that's when kind of, I guess, I met and went to Dilworth Center here in Charlotte in 2015, but 2019 was when it was like life was real. And then you met me last year at, I guess, the breaking point of the lowest, kind of when it all unraveled.
Yeah, I got the lucky point.
Yeah. I mean, but like we don't have to talk about that day, but how did is there anything you want to say about that day?
I can definitely say that they're definitely looking back on it. There was warning signs there that coming from someone that has never seen or even dreamt of stuff like what happened that day. There were definite warning signs. Whereas you speak of earlier, you said something like you can have really high highs and really low lows. The way that your day was switching between the two was faster than like air hockey.
Like I was in manic.
Yes. And there was like you were telling everyone like you were a millionaire. You were gonna. It sounded like you had just won the lottery that day.
Oh no, I thought I had because I called my mom, I believe, and I mean this is just another time that I worried her and caused. I
faintly remember you talking about business deals where you had closed on millions of dollars,
which did not happen, and I was just in manic and like.
No, it was, but I didn't think twice about it because I was like, okay, he hit me up. He said that he wanted a photographer for the day. I'm a good friend. I got him. He's paying me. We're gonna go get this. I'm gonna document the whole tattoo. That was all my innocent young mind thought.
But that's what it was gonna be. Yeah, that was it. But I was in manic, and as you said, I was going high, and then it would low, and like.
But it wasn't that fast. It was more just looking back on it when you can get the whole view of the day. You can say that, but this started out early in the morning. I got a call first thing I woke up. It was him calling me.
I think I called my mom like at 6 a.m.
And he called me at maybe like 8. Woke me up talking about, hey, I'm going to get this tattoo at 4 or in like an hour or so. Could take about 4 or 5 hours. Let's go do it. I'll pay you for the day, whatever you want. And so I'm thinking, okay, this is brilliant because I'm about to get paid for the day.
It's a buddy. I'm getting tattooed.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing.
And he does good work.
No red flags at this point.
And
no red flags.
And I mean, now, and I texted my mom earlier, I think yesterday, it was earlier today, and I was like, do you remember Griffin? He's going to come over and be our first guest on the show. And then I sent her picture of you, and she was like, oh, yes, I talked to him that night. And I was like,
yeah, so I mean, I can probably.
And she was like, he was afraid.
I can probably break this down in a nutshell the day faster than you can, but it really went like this. I got to the apartment. We got everything together. He was definitely going through something now that I'm looking back at it. Definitely warning signs there. If this ever happened again in my life, I would stop it right there. But that speaks a lot. Everything gives you
that was a
perspective.
Dark day, and I'm sharing my story, and that's something that. I affected someone else who I wanted to come on and talk. Like
exactly a different perspective on the whole scenario of we went to the tattoo artist. Nothing out of the ordinary, but just the way that the mannerisms you were giving off. The tattoo artist kept on coming to me, asking me if my friend was okay. Stuff that he doesn't usually see. And then
I had gotten 2 tattoos from him like 2 days prior too.
Yeah, so he wasn't that off guard about anything. And then I left and I come back and there's no door on the place. There's stuff everywhere. I look into the stairwell and there's just like all police. Don't know where Charles is anywhere. Can't find him. The tattoo artist comes frantic. Like he was.
I mean, he has every right to be.
He looked like he saw ghosts.
And I don't want to put his name out there or anything. And I've talked to him and we've discussed.
But by that time, I knew something happened, and I get out there. I have to talk to the cops. I have to plead nobody to press charges, even though I'm not even knowing what happened. I'm just no, he's good. He didn't do anything. the tattoo artist telling me what you really did, and I'm
got
thinking
hit.
in my head like, what is happening?
And and you're in my truck.
Yes, and I have his car with his keys. He left me everything. I had his wallet, his keys, his phone. This man had nothing on him. And
what happened?
All I have is a bag full of Chick-fil-A, and I just don't know what to do with it.
And you pull up, and it's on.
And luckily, I had your roommate's
Charlotte.
phone number, so I got to call your roommate. He picked me up. We figured everything out.
And what happened? Like when you pulled up, there was cops, and
there was cops. There was an ambulance. There was a fire truck. There were people stopped in the middle of the road. This looked like the Hulk had just came out. Like I got word that you had either been. There was a bunch of rumors circulating that you had been hit by a car. You ran out in front of a car, got hit. You were fighting people. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew that I had to call your roommate to get out of the situation because I was like, I have no idea what's happening, and I probably shouldn't be here.
No.
And then your roommate had your mom's number, and so I figured that we'd call your mom and just inform her what was going down so she didn't get a call in 2 hours. I didn't know if you were dead or alive at this point.
No, and that's like...
The last word I got was that you were headed to the hospital in an ambulance. So I was like, maybe a family member should know about this.
Yeah, and that wasn't and that's when I say things happened on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to me. It didn't matter what day. I was going through it.
That day was what day of the week it is.
That day was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I think. I don't it was. I was manic.
He made it an eventful Tuesday or Wednesday.
You definitely got your money's worth.
I got my money's worth that day.
No, but
so did a lot of other people, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, but that goes to show that your actions don't just affect you; they affect other people.
Well, I called your mom and I called your dad off your roommate's phone, and I was just like, "This is what happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm scared right now. I have no idea what's going on. Never been in this position." In this sort of anything in my life.
And you didn't need to be there, and I put you there because of my ignorance and my pride and the shit I was going through. I put you somewhere that you didn't need to be with me, an unhealthy me.
Well, yeah, and even thinking back on it, all I was really worried about was I have this man's car, his wallet, his phone. I'm going to have to see him soon, and I'm scared, so I'm like, I got to get rid of this stuff. I was like, it was like a body, come on now, I can't.
Yeah. Cause I mean, and you don't have to be bipolar or have schizophrenia or whatever to go manic. You can go manic from lack of sleep and just energy drinks and stuff. I mean, that's with me.
Well, I've never got to ask you what was going through your mind in that manic state. Not even during everything with the car and the road and the artist and everything, but what was going through your mind? Did it ever occur to you about not the artist feelings, but your friend? Did it ever occur to you wow, where's Griffin right now? Where is my friend that I was with all day? Is he okay? Did that ever go through your mind or?
Honestly, I was manic until the next morning or whenever I woke up is when I was where's Griffin? How is he I wasn't even worried about myself.
Yeah, because you probably didn't even remember what happened. You're probably well, I was with Griffin all day and now I'm in a hospital.
No, I remembered up until getting hit by the car.
Oh.
And then I remember, and I don't know if this actually happened or not, but I did 5 push-ups to I was that manic.
The cops also told me that you got hit by a car and that you were doing push-ups in the middle of the road and then you ran out to an auto zone or something and they basically had to
take me down.
Yeah.
But that had happened, never getting hit by a car and stuff, but that was normal for me. And I don't want to say normal all the time, but those encounters with cops had happened before with me.
What were the push-ups for?
I don't know. I think just show myself, okay, I'm not dead. Because I was bleeding and it was keeping me warm, but I think I was just in shock. I was in manic. I was in shock from getting hit by a car.
Did you ever hear from the person's car that I wouldn't say they hit you, but that you hit?
No, I don't I don't know anything that happened. I've
Could
never
you imagine
heard...
being that car going down the road and someone's running into the street with no clothes on?
I had shorts, I think.
This man, no shoes. He had taken his shoes off. I remember when he was on that, because he was there for hours. So, he was comfortable. And he was getting the tattoo on.
And I'll release a picture of the tattoo.
He was
getting
on
my
the
right
side of him, so he had no shirt on, no pullover. He might have had a hat on, but for the lack of clothing, this man, not a small guy either, comes running out in the road, looks like a grizzly bear, hits your car, does push-ups in the road, and runs off. you'd probably think that you just got through with like a sci-fi movie. Yeah, honestly, I hope that person
Like,
wasn't having a bad day, or
I mean,
you might have sent them into something.
Yeah, if whoever hit me or whoever I ran into or whatever happened,
What if they're listening to this?
I apologize and feel free to reach out. Like, I'm a different person. That was not me.
Could you imagine 10 people reach out? You hit all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I know what car hit me. Like, I have, like, but like, so you don't need to come and say you hit me. Like, it's not gonna happen.
They're like, how much money can I get?
Yeah, no,
It was actually me. There's a huge dent. People are just hammering their cars right now.
and I had to pay like $8. I had to like
$8.
I had to pay a fee to get the police statement. Like, and I had to send it to Raleigh, and they had to send it to me.
I think out of that day, the $8 was.
Oh, it was. I mean, at least I know, like, it was definitely my fault.
Yeah, I don't think that was the question.
I mean, for our listeners,
But I was about to say, I'm glad that you got that. Out of anything that happened today, we have a confession.
Yeah, no, I didn't get sleep. I was not putting the right stuff in my body. I wasn't eating healthy. Like,
You were a millionaire.
I thought I was high. I was high on life because I thought it felt like I won the lottery.
When I got back in the car with your roommate, it sounded like he saw signs way prior to me.
And he knows me well.
Yeah.
My previous roommate who I had lived with since college on and off, and recently he just got married. But yeah, he knows me, I don't want to say better than anyone else, but he's been through everything with me kind of since college. And
well, now looking back on it, even like I can still remember that day of the tattoo incident. Even before we left, your roommate kept saying to me, like, make sure he's okay. Like, he's not acting normal today. And for someone to say back in that time that you weren't acting normal, like, something had to be so abnormal that you would look at me and say something's abnormal, because abnormal was normal.
But he said today, like,
correct. No, he said like
meaning he's a little crazy, but today he's extra
today
crazy.
He is on something else.
And
I looked at him and I said, "Yeah, it's Charles." And we went on with our day. Little did I know, I should have been like, "Yeah, honestly, just take a rest, take a day of rest."
And yeah, but like
take a nap, get some water.
And I could, but I was like, man, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah,
like but my body was drained like that, and I fell asleep getting the tattoo and woke up and freaked out, didn't know where I was. And then ran out the back.
I think the word on the street was you woke up and you thought the guy was attacking you, even though he was just giving you a tattoo.
Yeah, I thought I was getting robbed and stabbed, and so I freaked out.
I wonder if there was video of the incident.
I hope not. But
he's like, y'all want to see something crazy? Watch this.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just glad I'm not that person who I was that day, and I've come.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day.
I will never forget that day.
Core memory.
And that's why I had to have you on as a guest. So before we wrap up, tell us any advice you got, kind of.
Yeah, my biggest advice is something that I still struggle with to this day is I have anxiety, really bad anxiety, and something that I do every day is travel a lot, meet a lot of people. I've never had an issue talking to people ever, so that's not part of it.
I remember you talking at 8, 9, or 10, like you would not stop talking.
Yeah, it's definitely not an issue, but
which is good.
As far as just moving through daily life, I'd say just be thankful and get people around. I'd say the biggest thing is get people around you that can support you and make sure that you are okay every day. And if you need someone to talk to, that has to be my number one thing. Just having a good support system. And
you checked in on me that day. Afterwards,
I remember I was on the field with the Panthers and you called me that morning.
Oh gosh.
And you were like, something about like, God, what did you say? Yeah, I remember I was on it was a FaceTime. And I picked up the phone. I was very hesitant to pick up the phone because I thought it was, yo, Griffin, come pick me up. And I was like, gonna just totally say no.
Which you should have said.
Just like you almost killed me last night. You almost killed 3 other people. God knows how many people. Like
I affected everybody.
Maybe in a week or 2, but not the day after. But I remember I was on the field. I just went away from everyone, picked up the phone, and was like, yo, what's up? And all you just cared, you were like, are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right? And that's when I was like, okay, at least he's back to
normal. Like, I came down from manic and
he's back. We won't call it normal.
okay, yeah, no, I was not back
he's
to
back
normal
to normal Charles
at that. Yeah, to like,
which was good to hear. So I knew I could talk to him just normally, figured stuff out, like where his car was, how to get his stuff back. His parents had it. I told him that I called his parents,
and
stuff
I was
like
thankful
that.
for that. Like,
just making sure he was alive at that point. Like, I got that he was calling me, but what happened?
because that's the type of life-death experiences, like, when I talk about or mention on here, like.
But I definitely had the choice after that day to totally just ghost, like,
And that happened.
I can never talk to this man again.
And people have done that, like, and if they're listening,
Which
like,
is, I'd say it's fair. It's okay.
That's I mean, because people,
you have the choice to keep people in your lives. I see that you're doing something good with it, and you're moving on and dealing with it in a different way that's not just coping with the bad parts.
Yeah, because
you're making something new.
Yeah, because I was being in rehab in February of last year, and then getting out, spending some time in jail, looking at prison time, and then a month late, but I had to accept the fact I was in jail and trust something I didn't know how to do, that my people on the outside were going to take care of me.
Well, correct. And you say it just happened in February, which is still pretty fresh, pretty new.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's just, you're moving in the right direction, and I hope that it's not just something new. It's something that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life.
And it has to, because something I found that works for me is talking to someone. So I go to a therapist who I found that works for me.
And I hope that even talking on these podcasts can help just relieve some stuff.
I mean, it's healing to talk about this stuff now, because it's not something that was fun and games. It was life, and I wasn't living it correctly, and I was putting everyone else in harm's ways and living selfishly and not caring if I died. And it definitely showed that day, I assume. Like, would you agree?
Yes, I would agree.
And that's not who I am, and not what I want to be moving forward. And and
that will help you in your life. That will help you in relationships. That will help you in things that if you have children one day, you'll be able to see that.
Oh my gosh.
Which is incredible, because it will be able to help you know how to talk to them, know when to step in, know how to react to certain things. That if that never happened to me in my life, what happened that day, I might react a totally different way. If that happens to my kids, to someone I love, I might think they are totally insane, rather than step back for a second and react a totally different way. That's more just more sensitive to the fact that this is a real thing,
a healthy manner.
You can come out a better person if it's dealt with the right way.
And I was not dealing with my stuff the right way, and now, I love doing this I found something like this podcast, something that I'm passionate about, mental health and my story, and being vulnerable, and allowing people to hear my story and know that, hey, we're all struggling. We're all out here grinding, trying to be our best. And we don't have to listen to the world. The world's not going to tell us to be our best. Like he was saying.
And it is okay not to be okay.
Say that again, because that's good.
It is okay not to be okay. That's the biggest thing they preach with the NFL players, because they started a whole movement of mental health awareness and being advocates for it. And a lot of our players, like one of my good friends, Doug Middleton, he went to App State.
I know him.
Yeah. He's an advocate for mental health. And he just says that you have to bring people more awareness for it, for them to understand. And that day you brought awareness, cold-blooded, straight to my mindset of how real this really is and how you can use it to help others. And I think that's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to use my story to help others and bring people want to share their story, but then also it's cool to have Griffin as our first guest, kind of someone who re-entered my life in the lowest point, kind of when I was going through everything, and now we're here and we're able to talk about it, and yeah.
And I'm glad it was me, because I don't know how other people would have done with it.
Yeah, Griffin's a good guy, and so tell what's the name of your business? So, and if anyone needs any photo
business,
shoots,
you can reach out to me on social media at GriffinZ_23,
and we'll post him on there so y'all can take a look at.
And don't be shy. You don't have to be a professional athlete. You can
He shot for me.
shot for Charles when he was in this stage of his life.
Correct. And I mean, I'm just glad that you were willing to come on.
It was meant to be. I was meant to be there, so I realized
I believe that.
and
Yeah, because
I think it brought not only you to the spot that you're in, but it was meant to be for myself, and so
because that really showed me how many people my actions affect. But yet, that didn't stop me from ending where that kind of path of my life.
Where that episode left off.
Yeah. So, well, any last thoughts, Griffin, before we say goodbye on episode 10?
It's okay not to be okay. Put your best foot forward at all times, and just try and be the best self you can be. I'd say that's probably my leaving notes.
Cool. Well, thank y'all for listening to episode 10 of the Rabbit Hole Show. Again, reach out with any comments, questions, content. If you want to be a guest on the show, send an email to therabbitholeshow21@gmail.com. Give us a follow on Instagram. Stay tuned for more content. And we have another special guest coming up for episode 11. So again, it's Charles here. Casey's on the other side of the table, and we got Griffin. So Griffin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
And again, you'll be our first
Hope
guest
to be on
forever.
again sometime soon.
Yeah, I want to get you on again for sure.
Love to hear the feedback on this one as well.
Yeah, you're our first guest, so get your people listening to this. Share
Hope I
it,
did
and,
well.
Hey, 10 out of 10 in my book. Like
Casey, how'd I do?
Hey, and we had a lot to talk about because something I did and put you in harm's way, but now we're here to talk about it and moving on in positive directions with our life. Well, you were and have continued. And
if you made it this far into the episode, if you have any thoughts on interdimensional travel and or string theory, put that in the comments because I would love to hear what your thoughts are. We will really know if you made it this far if we see these comments. Or maybe you just skipped all the way ahead. Who knows?
Who knows? Alrighty, again, thank y'all for listening. Love y'all, and stay tuned for more and episode 11 with another special guest. All right, thank y'all.
Peace.